And I just got the alert. So that's the delay there.
Cool. Well, we'll give people a second to join in, and then we'll get started and move a little bit.
Okay. Okay, we have a live viewer.
Beautiful. Well, welcome, live viewer. If you have yoga blocks, go ahead and grab them. If not, it's not a big deal. The stuff that we're doing, you definitely don't need to have yoga blocks for, but they can be a nice addition to the practice. So if you have them, go ahead and make sure that those are nearby. And we'll go ahead and just get started with some movement. So I'm gonna move back actually onto my mat. And if you want, you can just find a comfortable seat. It could be seated, it could be sitting onto your heels, right? So like this, right? If you have yoga blocks, it can be really nice to sit onto a yoga block onto your heels. So just a few different options here. And let's just take a minute. We'll rest the hands down onto the lap and whatever seat you're choosing. Close the eyes for a moment. And just take a deep breath. Big breath into the belly. Maybe you can even fill it into the back, and the sides of the body. And then a deep, full breath out. Just big exhale here. Maybe do that 1 or 2 more times and just see if you can use the breath to bring your body and mind into this moment. And then when you're ready on an inhale, we'll float the eyes open, reach the arms out and up overhead, look towards the palms. And then on the exhale, we'll release the hands and lower the chin slightly. On the inhale, we'll reach out and up. And on the exhale, we'll release out and down. Let's do that 1 more time. Big breath in, reach out and up. Then we'll keep the palms together and start to tip across to one side. So just a gentle side stretch here. As you breathe in, maybe you can lengthen the fingertips a little further. And then when you're ready, we'll come back through the midline. Take a big breath here, find spinal extension. And then on the next inhale, we'll tip across to the other side, come into a gentle stretch. Take a big breath. Maybe you can find a little more length and space. And then as you breathe out, we'll return back. Take a big breath in, start to draw the thumbs back. And then on the exhale, we'll just gently release the hands. Take a moment, maybe roll the shoulders around a couple of times. You can turn the head. And then when you're ready, let's come into tabletop pose. So again, if you have blocks available, go ahead and make sure those are nearby. Otherwise, don't worry about it. And when you get into tabletop, we want the wrists stacked beneath the shoulders, knees beneath the hips. And we'll just do a couple cat-cow spines here. So on the inhale, let's roll the shoulders back. Really stretch the belly long as you lift the tailbone and the heart. On the exhale, really draw the navel in towards the spine as you round the back and look down towards the thighs. Inhale, roll the shoulders back, lift the tailbone and the heart. Exhale, engage that low belly as you round and look down. Go ahead, do this a couple more times. Breathe and move at your own pace. So go to the flow of your own breath. You might move a little faster or a little slower than me. That's totally fine. The idea here is that you want the flow of breath to be a little deeper than you're used to, but you also don't want to feel like you're struggling to finish the inhale or the exhale. Just see if you can breathe as long as you move and move as long as you breathe. Maybe do 1 more round. And then on an inhale, we'll return to a neutral spine, so we've got a flat back. Then as you breathe out, we'll shift the hips back towards the heels, release the forehead to the floor for child's pose. On an inhale, we'll float back up to hands and knees, so we're coming into tabletop again. And then just exhale, hips to heels for child's pose. Let's do that just a few more times. Again, breathe and flow at your own pace. Full breaths out as you release the hips back. And big breaths in as you float the heart back up. Go ahead, maybe do 2 more rounds. Then we'll inhale, return to tabletop. So again, flat back, hands and knees. Then we'll curl the toes under. And as you breathe out, lengthen the tailbone towards the sky and press the hips towards the back of the mat for downward facing dog. On an inhale, we'll release back down to tabletop. And then exhale and find child's pose again. Inhale, float back up to tabletop. And exhale, press the tailbone to the sky, hips towards the back of the mat for downward facing dog. Inhale to force. Exhale to child. Inhale to force. And exhale back for downward facing dog again. Keep breathing and flowing at your own pace. So we're inhaling into force and alternating on the exhale between child's pose or downward facing dog. Go ahead and complete 1 more round and we'll meet in downward dog. And when you get into this downward dog again, just take a moment, take a deep breath. Really feel the hands and the feet on the floor. And then when you're ready, go ahead, release back to tabletop again. Then if you have blocks nearby, go ahead and place them up at the top of your yoga mat. So when you place your blocks, I would recommend starting with them at height number 2. So height number 1 is the lowest height. It's going to be the most stable. Height number 2. Height number 3 is the highest height, and it's going to be the least stable. So 2 is generally a good starting spot. From here, we'll just step our right foot forward to the top of the mat. Take a moment, settle in, and then if you want, you can change the position of your blocks. So again, height number 3 is the highest, so it's going to help you really lift the heart and extend through the spine. You just have to be mindful that they're not quite as steady, right? So listen to your own body, decide what feels most useful right now. Then if you'd like, you can curl the toes of the back foot under and pick that back knee up. Take a big breath here, really roll the shoulders back, feel like you're lifting the heart towards the sky. Then on an exhale, we'll start to straighten the front leg and fold over it. On an inhale, we'll bend the knee, lift the heart, come back into the lunge. And then exhale and press the hips back as you straighten the leg again. Let's do that 1 more time. Inhale, bend the knee, lift the heart. Exhale, press those hips back as you straighten the leg. Take a deep breath. And then on your inhale, we'll bend the knee, lift the heart. Go ahead, drop that back knee down to the mat. Get really steady here. And then maybe you can bring your hands up onto your thigh. From here, roll the shoulders back, lift the heart and the crown of the head even more towards the sky. And on an inhale, maybe you can reach the arms out to the sides and all the way up overhead. On an exhale, release the hands out to the sides and either down to the blocks or down to the floor. And then we'll inhale to reach out and up again. Exhale, release out and down. Inhale, reach out, reach up, and this time we'll hold it. So just take a couple deep breaths. Keep the shoulders soft. Keep the heart reaching forward and the thumbs drawing back. Take a deep breath. And then on an exhale, go ahead, release the hands. And then we'll step back into tabletop again. So the knees come back. You can return your hands towards the floor for a moment. Take a deep breath as you feel the left and the right side of the body together. Just notice what that's like right now. And then when you're ready, we'll reach the left foot up to the top of the mat. Again, if you're using blocks, you could place the hands onto them. Take a moment to get steady here. And then we'll pick that back knee up. Again, take a moment, get steady. And then as you breathe out, we'll straighten the front leg and start to fold over it. On the inhale, we'll lift the heart, come back into our lunge as we bend the knee. And on the exhale, we'll press back again. Inhale, find your lunge. And exhale to press back. Take a deep breath when you get here. And then when you're ready, we'll inhale back into the lunge. Drop the knee. Get steady. And then if you feel steady enough, you can bring the hands onto the thigh. Roll the shoulders back. Extend the heart and the crown of the head up. And then maybe inhale and reach the palms up and overhead. On an exhale, we'll release the hands out to the sides and down towards the blocks or to the mat. On an inhale, we'll reach the arms out to the sides and up overhead again. Exhale to release, out and down. Inhale, reach out and up. And then we'll hold it here. Take some deep breaths. As you inhale, maybe you can stretch the front of the body a little more. As you exhale, maybe you can soften the shoulders. And on the next breath out, you can release the hands. Take a moment here, feel that front leg. And then when you're ready, we'll slide that foot back and release the hands. So you can just move the blocks out to the sides here. On an inhale again, we'll roll the shoulders back, lift the heart. Exhale to round the spine. Inhale, return back to a neutral spine. Curl the toes under, and as you breathe out, we'll press back into downward dog again. This time, let's give it some movement. So you can pedal the feet. You could shift the hips. You might like to turn the head. So just take a moment, get curious here. Really feel into the body. Notice what it's like to move in different ways and see if you can find some way to move or some way to access muscles that you've never noticed before, right? Get really curious. Again, there's no right or wrong here in this down dog. It's just noticing whatever there is to notice with your movements. About 5 more seconds. You might like to settle into stillness and take a deep breath. And then on an exhale, we'll release back to hands and knees. And on the next breath out, find child's pose. Release the forehead towards the floor. And take a deep breath. And then when you're ready, we'll walk the hands back, sit up onto the heels, find a neutral spine. As you breathe in, maybe you can find a little more length and space through the spinal column. And as you breathe out, just soften any tension, any gripping or effort from the muscles. And then from here, we'll just kick the feet out in front of us. Again, find that tall spine again. We'll bring both feet flat to the mat, have both knees bent. And as you inhale, see if you can sit up even taller. Then from here, release one hand back behind you. And inhale to reach the opposite arm up. On an exhale, see if you can bring that elbow across the knee and start to twist. On an inhale, we'll reach the arm back up to unwind. And on the exhale, we'll twist again. One more. Big breath in, reach up. Full breath out as you twist. And then we'll hold it here. So as you inhale, maybe you can sit up a little taller. As you exhale, maybe you can engage the low belly, spiral the ribs around a little more. Take one more breath here. On the inhale, we'll reach the palm back up to unwind, and then release that hand back behind you, and inhale the opposite arm up to the sky. On an exhale, we'll reach the arm across, find a gentle twist. Inhale to unwind, and exhale to twist again. Last one, big breath in, reach up to unwind. Full breath out as you settle in for that twist. On the inhale, maybe you can find a little more length and space in the spine. And as you breathe out, maybe you can engage from the low belly and spiral around just a little more. Just don't use your arms to torque yourself around. Really let the rotation come from the belly. Take one more deep breath. Then on an inhale, we'll unwind. Exhale, release the hand. Let the knees come out to the side, the soles of the feet come together. And take a big breath in as you reach the palms up. On an exhale, we'll reach the hands forward. Come into a gentle butterfly here. Then we'll take the hands, cup the tops of the toes. On an inhale, roll the shoulders back, extend the heart up. And then exhale and see if you can press your belly button down towards the floor a little further. So the heart is extending forward, belly button is pressing down. Take a deep breath here. On an inhale, we'll sit back up. Bring the soles of the feet together, the knees together, soles of the feet come flat. And then we'll just shift the hips forward a little bit if you need to. Center yourself on the mat. And we'll come to rest onto the back. So do this slow with control. When you get there, you might like to hug your knees in towards the chest. You might like to rock side to side a couple of times. Then we'll just keep hugging one knee in, press the opposite heel straight out onto the mat. Take a deep breath there. And then on your next exhale, go ahead, bring the extended leg back into the chest. And then on an inhale, press the opposite heel away and relax the leg down. Take a deep breath down into the open side of the hip. And on an exhale, we'll bring the knee back in. Inhale, release both feet flat to the ground. So we're coming into prep for a bridge pose. So for bridge pose, we want the heels stacked right beneath the knees. And then on an inhale, we'll just gently float the hips up to the sky. As you breathe out, we'll release the hips down. And do that 2 more times. Inhale, lift the hips up. Exhale, down. Last one, big breath in, reach the hips up. And then we'll stay here for just a moment. So make sure you've got even weight distribution through the feet. And as you breathe in, maybe you can imagine you're breathing up through the body. So maybe you can inhale to the belly first, up through the ribs and into the chest. And then as you exhale down through the torso, you can release the hips, straighten the legs out onto the mat. Maybe bring backs of the hands out at your sides with palms facing up. Close the eyes. And just take a moment to breathe. So this completes our 20-minute practice today. So I encourage you to rest in Shavasana for as long as you'd like. Shavasana is the body's opportunity to return to anatomical alignment. It's the body's opportunity to integrate anything that happened in the muscles into the long-term muscular memory. And we will be back in about 10 minutes for a guided relaxation and meditation that stems right along to this practice. So keep an eye out for the notification for that. Thank you for joining. I hope you have a great day. Maybe see you in 10 minutes. Namaste.